All right, for this part of the video, or for this video, I should say, I'm going to show you guys how to put the rest of the servos in, and also how to line up your servo horns with the upright position of the robot. So what you're going to do is you're going to set it to attention, and then you're going to put the servo horns in so that the default position of the robot is at attention and he's standing up straight. So here we go. Okay, as I said before, what you want to do is install all the servos in there. So I'm almost done with the arms, and as soon as I'm done with the arms, I'm going to show you how to power this up, load up the first action group, which is the attention action group, and then we're going to cause all the servos to move to the action position, and then we're going to put the servo horns in there. So I have the servo horns out and ready to go in. Mostly what we're going to use is the single-sided servo horns, which are these. These will go into the shoulders. So the ones that look like little crosses, they're gonna go into the shoulder. The single-sided ones are gonna go in every other joint. Let me see if I can get that to focus. You know what these look like. They're in all the bags with all the servos. So as you can see there, I have my shoulder servos ready to have these brackets attached to. So we're gonna skip to that. So the next view you see will be of the full robot with arms and everything attached. Okay, I've got all the servos in everywhere, and like I said before, we're not going to put the servo horns in yet, right? We're going to save that for last, because the next step is to load the action group into the board on its back. And so we're going to load the action group on there from the software on the laptop or the PC. And as you can see, I've got the assembly done all the way. So I've done this side, or the Teflon side of the joint, on all of the servos. So every servo you see on the back of it, there is a Teflon joint right there. So you can see there's a Teflon sleeve with a screw going through it. Okay, that's on every joint, obviously, except for the head. The head's it's going directly to a servo horn, and the waist. And the servo horn is attached to the bottom or the lower torso, and then the chest is attached to the lower torso through that big high-tech servo that you've seen in the other videos. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to number all the ends of these connectors. So we're going to take these numbers, put them on the ends here, and you're saying, okay, how do I know which number goes on what servo? On the website, you can go on there on the resource page for our fighting robots. We have this servo layout worksheet, and it's got all the servo numbers on it. So if you look closely here, so left ankle ID is 0, so that means that this number 0 will go on the connector for this servo right back here. So this is ID 0. So if you look on the drawing corresponds to, it says basically outline of the robot frame, and each little box has all the information you need for each servo. So the center position equals 0, that's equals blank. You're going to fill that in if you have to make fine adjustments on the servos, but we're not going to use that for right now. All you need to know is we're going to put those labels on here for the corresponding servos according to the servo layout worksheet that you download from the website. There are also the next question is, right, where do I get these little numbers? So there's two ways you can do this. So I have a label printer here. Ooh, that's a good one. And I have these little labels that are used for cables. So when you're making cables, making your own cables, they sell these labels, and they're little squares. It's hard to focus on there, but they're cut into little squares for you. So they're pre-cut and everything, and they just happen to be a good size for you to put onto your servo connectors. And I'll show you the label here so you can see where these came from. So wire markers from GC Tool. And these are available at Fry's. I'm not sure if they carry them at Micro Center. They probably do. But there's your part number there. So you can look these up. Now, be careful. Okay, so this is the part number for labels number 34 through 66. Okay? You want label numbers starting at 0. Now, this part number, if you type that in, you'll get 34 through 66, but it should be easy enough to scroll on that same page and find 0 through X. It's probably 0 through 33. But that's where you can get those, and that'll make it easier. If you don't have a label printer, you don't have to run out and buy a label printer. You can get these labels pre-printed. And like I said, they come on a sheet and you just peel them off, and they're pre-cut into little squares. So you get the individual numbers. They come in letters too, but we won't be using those. So anyway, that's what you need there, a strip of numbers. And you're going to go from 0 to 23 because we have 24 servos on there, but we are starting at 0. So our count starts at 0. You probably will not use all of these unless you're filling in the auxiliary servo spots. So we actually have 6 extra servo spots on this controller board that we can use. You're only going to need these 18 to make your robot, the default function to the robot. Just enough to get you running. But if you start modifying, adding, extra weapons and accessories and such that you want to move, or LEDs that you want to light up and stuff like that, you can use the auxiliary servo spots for that. And so those have been left blank, so you can just fill that in. And remember, just the ID. The important thing is the servo ID. Okay, I've got all the cables plugged in. Batteries are in. Power's up. Plugged into my USB port. So this is the software here, and you're going to find the software download on the resources page as well. But you can see here, it's not in English. So just go up to the upper left corner, select English. And there you go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go over to Open Action Group. And what that's going to allow you to do is go into your files. And what you want to do is find the Attention Action Group. So we're going to go. Yes, I have a very complex file structure. And so we're going to Controller, Software, Action Groups. And I have a default, and I've also saved a copy of the default as, this is going to be a Bastion mod from the Overwatch game. So that's what my shell is going to be for my robot. So I have a file here that has the modified action groups for that. So you can add your servos and things like that. You'll see that in a second. Hold on. We're going to upload this one, and you see it automatically puts it in the shape that you that you would have it for your robot. So for us, we're going to have an extra servo in here, and we're going to have number 7, which is the waste servo. So right now I'm going to leave it in this configuration, but when I upload the new action groups, I'm going to set this up so that it looks more like the robot. So you would have your servo in there. But for now, we'll leave it as such so that we can get this thing going. So just power on. Switch, power on. You see that now the indicator in the upper right is green. So that's when it happens when it's connected. So let me turn it off again so you can see that. See, it turns red. If you're green, you're connected. Now you have full control of all of these servos from the servos on the screen there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the lower left here. See this little play button right next to. Press that. Boom. All the servos have moved to the attention position. So let me show you. I'll give you an example with the head, because the head is the only one that's actually got the servo horn hooked up. So we can move the head like so, using the little slider on the screen. But we're going to leave it in, and we're going to leave it in an awkward position like this, and then I'll press the play button again so you can see what happens. Boom. All the servos move to their correct positions. Now, very carefully, what we're going to do is we're going to, it looks like spaghetti now, but we're going to use tie wraps to clean all this up. What's important now is that all these servos have moved to the attention position. You're going to use the picture of the CAD file that's online. You can download it online to now set all the mechanical parts in the correct position and put the servo horns in those spots. So you're going to set the position and stick the servo horns in. That is the next step. Okay, so as long as you have the power on and you're connected, he's going to struggle to keep all the servos in the same spot. So what's happening here is I'm inserting the screw that holds the shoulder in place. So you're going to hear so you hear that? I'm going to do it again because I talked over it. So you're going to hear like a low rumbling sound from your servo. That's the servo attempting to keep it in this position. So we have put the shoulder on there. Everything's out of focus because it is not focusing on the right thing. But we've put the shoulder on there. We've inserted the screw that holds the servo horn to the servo. And you can see this is the position that it is at attention. So I put that in there. Now, the rest of these things, so it's going to go in here like so. So you put that in there like so and twist it till it goes in. The servo horns, the way they're going to go in there is like so. I'll show you one now. So you're going to have the arm in position, and you're going to see two little holes. Let me see if I can focus in on that. You're going to see two little holes right here. So those two little holes, match that up. The servo horn is going to go like so, as close as you can get it, because again we can do a little adjustment in the software to get it exactly into position, but it's going to be like so. And then you're going to take your 0 screws. So 0 screws are going to go right into where those little holes in the PLA are. See, so it's going to go through the servo horn into the PLA.